Okay, this is Dr. James VOND speaking, and it's 12/12/2025, and it's evening time, well past sunset time, and this is my second video of the day, and visibility is very poor, so do remember, if you don't seem to see my face on the recording, it's because it's low light levels, and I don't have a low lux camera, night vision camera in other words. This is just a normal standard recording in the dark. And I'd just like to mention that in my previous video I was talking about that I'm attracted to international women, etc. Very attractive ones, that is, beautiful model ones. And the local women up here in Coventry, I don't think they fancy me, and I think it's vice versa. Similar, I don't fancy them either. And just leave it at that, So they're not really for me, and I'm not really for them. I'm not really meant for them none either, and so I don't really bother wasting my time there with women who are not attracted to me, and vice versa. I'm not attracted to them. So I'd like to concentrate my attention on those women who have got a chance, with me in having a shag, etc. Making love, a good sex life, etc. And whatever comes out of that. And they are most likely to be from outside the UK, obviously, therefore. And I've mentioned international places, even like Amsterdam, obviously. Those women are more seducing than any others. When they blink at you, beckon you again and again, and not just Amsterdam. I mean, on Instagram and TikTok, etc., on the social media platforms, from international places like, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, and parts of Mediterranean, Northern Europe, like Scandinavia, parts of Russia, and even the States, United States, especially around Florida or somewhere around there, or California. Those sort of women might be of more appeal to me, and maybe South America, Central America, Latin Europe, I think I've got more chance with them. And obviously, all I can say is, why don't they call me over? Maybe I need to live with them and relocate or something, eh? Why don't laboriously pass my time here? But I think they all want to come here. Most women do want to come over here, and then I don't think it's necessarily a brilliant place. I mean, I've been here since birth, obviously, so and there's not much love life here at all for me. Like I said, it's not a town meant for me to have sex in. Sex and the City, remember that? This is a sex and no city for me. So I've got to get that across to my viewers. That's the message for me. So I might be able to survive here. Just get maybe enough food or something. Just get some shelter, food and shelter maybe, and a bit of clothing. Maybe that's about it really. Don't expect women. I don't think you'll get that sex service. Below the belt service, and having kids even. And if you did have kids, they'll take them off you. Even that. And if you manage to get a woman from outside here, they'll definitely convert them to being one of these, the ones that don't sex here, So that's what they mean when they naturalise them. They turn them into the local stock. You're better off not turning them into the local stock, because the local stock don't shag you anyway. And they're not really your sort, your attractive sort. And so if they're trying to convert them, the ones that come from overseas, into local stock, you can forget it. I don't want to be with partners like that, because they need to maintain their distance from the locals and assert their own identity, and the difference is obviously that they will be sexing me for starters, as opposed to the locals, and they've got to keep that difference there. Otherwise, it's pointless me being with them, innit? There'll be just people like localers, local women around here, and those ones obviously they're just nuns, ain't they? Like sisters or something, ain't they? Nuns and sisters. You can live with nuns and sisters all your life if you want. zeros, or if you want to call them zeros, for being nuns. Do you want to end up with people like that? Well, that's what the city is, literally, city of nuns and sisters, isn't it? Zeros and sisters. That's what they are. That's what they turn them into. And obviously, like I said, they're going to be covered head to toe in some cases. Those sort of people are Sharia law, etc. Far from the opposite of from bikinis and things like that. Obviously, I'm not just saying that because it's a cold weather they're covering up for, but for their own sake, shutting people out. Obviously, then there's no interest in those ones. Obviously, you wouldn't want to even approach those ones that are like dressed like ninjas and things. So that's a no-go area for women to be entered into. That you can't form relationship with. But where would you go? To meet those opposite sex. It's a good question, isn't it? Where are you going to meet them? You watched all those movies, isn't it? My favourite movie, North by Northwest, starring the late Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, and she's still around. She's over 100. She harboured him on that train, even when he's a fugitive on the run, wanted for murder at the United Nations headquarters, and drink driving as well. A whole bottle of bourbon was poured into him, and he's accused of drink driving as well. Nothing to do with parking tickets, incidentally. He didn't even have a car, actually. And I like that saying when he says on the train, I think how good it is. I'm seated next to you, and then he says, how lucky, and then she said, luck had nothing to do with it. She tipped the steward $5 for him to be sitting next to him. That's Eva Marie Saint playing Eve Kendall in that role, and he's playing Roger Faunal, obviously, advertising man. And then he says, the moment he meets an attractive woman, he can't resist, making love to them. And that's obviously what he feels like, but he shies away from that, obviously, because he knows they would find it objectionable. And she says to him, "You've got a nice face, a kind face, an honest face," and that's what he says, And so it's not about his body size; it's about his face. She likes his face. He's obviously seated down when she says that. He's handsome on the basis of his face, not on his body length, his size necessarily, length. Although he is 6'2" in real life, he is quite lanky. But anyway, she says she likes his face, and he finds that those women might find him objectionable. The moment he says that, obviously they might, and then she tempts him, by saying that he's got a nice face. And anyway, you watch that scene, and that's what it's like, really. But if you're in the right location, those women will be seducing you, blinking at you, beckoning you again and again to come forward, and obviously not covering up, flirting with you, giving the correct signals that they're interested in you. And I don't really believe that bullshit about women not having money enough to even keep a guy like me around. That's all a load of bullshit. Because at the end of the day, if they can keep pets in the house and feed them and take them to the vets and everything and pamper them, I don't see no excuse why they can't keep an attractive man like myself, a Casanova, sleep on the couch maybe, if there's no room space. But they should be inviting me. I shouldn't really be forced to live in supported housing. it's a real letdown that I had to sleep 13 plus months in a car. If any of those women out there are decent enough, they should have found me attractive enough to be offered a place of abode in their home. And they're not exactly, I'm not exactly a desperado, and they're not exactly homeless. They have got a place of abode. They're just not making the efforts there to help someone out like me and bring me in their home. Just like that Christmas, thing like that with that Jesus. I mean, this time of the year, people remember that, obviously, how difficult it was for being born and being born in a manger, of all places, when there wasn't offered suitable housing. So they should be, ashamed of themselves for not, being so hospitable. I mean, Eve Kendall, played by Eva Marie Saint, she was hospitable to the fact that she even offered him room space in the train, shared a cabin with him, let him sleep in his cabin, and harboured him, protected him from the law as well. When he was a fugitive, he could have been anything, a murderer or anything, but she protected him and had sex with him and made love to him, on the train. That's obviously a fictional film, but if it did happen, obviously, out there, if it does happen, I don't know if it does happen in real life. But she was a CIA agent, after all, and he did say to her, "Tell me why you're so good to me, or when you ain't so good, can you be so good to me," or something like that. And then she said, "You want me to climb up and tell you why?" And then he goes, "Yeah." And then she climbs up, and that's it. They make love on the train. So that's the North by Northwest film, the classic movie. Remember that Marnie film starring Sean Connery, and the minute she sees red, she has those fits, That's a classic Hitchcock movie as well, Marnie, starring Sean Connery. So it's down to the women as well, obviously. They should be hospitable as well, not inhospitable, but welcoming, and to the extent of offering a room, maybe shared room space, maybe. Get people like me out of supported housing and into their bedroom, preferably, sleeping on the opposite side, or on another bed next to themselves. Sometimes there's two beds aligned together if they don't want to sleep in the same bed. Having two separate toilets, maybe, as well. That might be a good idea as well. So in the bedroom, So no arguments about toilets, using the toilets or leaving anything behind, any outdoors or whatever. If they use their own toilets, separate toilets, just like separate toothbrushes, etc. And then obviously when they're joining together, then obviously there will be full contact, then, won't they? Exchange of bodily fluid, etc. Bunker. I won't be going to the birds and bees with you on this video, but I think I'll end it now. I think I said a bit. Dr. James 1 on 12/12/25.